A portion of today's video is sponsored by Sheath Underwear. For more information on Sheath, click the link below in the description or wait until the end of this video.
If a decision was made, I will know. I'll be the first to know. I don't know. Why don't you tell me?
Who's in charge? Who's in charge of the country? Who's in charge of the White House? Because oftentimes we get the glimpse that it's not Donald Trump. From Will Scharf, his nursemaid that gets trotted out to explain everything before and or after he signs it, Donald Trump is not the man in charge. I mean, officially, yes, but effectively, I don't know. Yesterday, Thom Tillis said something to Jake Tapper that was very alarming, that comes not even directly related to all of the questions about the on-again, off-again, on-again, off-again aid to our allies like Ukraine. For months now, there's been questions about the halting of military aid to Ukraine in their fight against Russia and the wholesale slaughter of Ukrainian citizens. Why did this aid stop? Donald Trump acted like he didn't know anything about it. This is the headline from months ago. Pentagon stopped Ukraine military aid shipments in February without Trump's approval, ordered to cancel 11 military aid flights, which were quickly reinstated, originated in defense head Pete Hegseth's office. And he was asked about this 2 days ago by Caitlin Collins, to which he said, I don't know. I don't know who did that. Why don't you tell me?
Mr. President, you want to send more weapons to Ukraine, as you said last night. Last week, the Pentagon paused some shipments of weapons to Ukraine. Did you approve of that pause?
We want to put defensive weapons because Putin is not treating human beings right. He's killing too many people. So we're sending some defensive weapons to Ukraine, and I've approved that.
So who ordered the pause last week?
I don't know. Why don't you tell me?
I think that's a question.
Go ahead.
Mr.
Yeah.
President, on immigration, the secretary there.
Notice him look over his shoulder to indicate to Pete Hegseth, I want you to listen to me, hear what I'm saying, make sure what I say gets done. Indicating that you can't just go rogue and do your own thing. I'm the president of the United States. Which leads one to naturally believe or understand or at least question, why would Pete Hegseth be acting as a rogue agent against the wishes of President of the United States? Why? If he felt like he was actually following the directions of the president and not going rogue, he would be following the directives of the President of the United States, unwilling to act in such a bold manner without the explicit permission as a policy directive from Donald Trump. It's not what happened. Well, yesterday he was in this multilateral meeting with African leaders, and at the end of it, they start asking him questions. And this reporter asks a very good question, which is, if this happened without your knowledge, what other things are happening? How could we be? Let me get the exact question right. Yesterday, you said you weren't sure who ordered the munitions halted to Ukraine. Have you since been able to figure that out? And then what does it say about such a big decision that could be made inside your government without your knowing? What's going on here? Very important. You will not be shocked to learn that Donald Trump's answer leaves a lot to be desired.
Sir, yesterday you said that you were not sure who ordered the munitions halted to Ukraine. Have you since been able to figure that out?
Well, I haven't thought about it because we're looking at Ukraine right now and munitions, but I have not gone into it.
What does it say that such a big decision could be made inside your government without you knowing?
I would know. If a decision was made, I will know. I'll be the first to know. In fact, most likely I'd give the order, but I haven't done that yet. Yeah, please.
I would know if a decision was made. I'd be the first to know. Those two things can't exist at the same time. They can't be true at the same time. That you don't know, but also I'll be the first to know. I know.
What does it say that such a big decision could be made inside your government without you knowing?
I would know. If a decision was made, I will know. I'll be the first to know.
So who ordered the pause last week?
I don't know. Why don't you tell me?
I think that's a question.
Go ahead.
Mr.
Yeah.
President,
Yeah. Again, just contradictory messages. Whenever it suits Donald Trump, the answer could be multiple things. It's not living in reality. And all of this comes in tandem with an interview that Thom Tillis, the North Carolina senator who voted against the budget, who's just now starting to oppose Donald Trump because he's announced he's not running for re-election, just like every one of these coward Republicans does. As soon as they have no longer any need for an electorate, they do the right thing, right? Well, he is talking to Jake Tapper, and here he makes an assertion at the end of this interview about the people who act like they're president when Donald Trump is not in the room in the White House. And when pressed, I'll talk about that later. Clearly, this is a thing. Clearly, there are people in Donald Trump's administration who want to act like they're the president, Stephen Miller, when they are not, who have been given the ability and the authority to run roughshod over actual cabinet secretaries, actual people who have been confirmed by the Senate after being appointed by Donald Trump. Watch this, what should be the biggest headline of the day from Thom Tillis in this Jake Tapper interview.
What does the Republican Party need to do to get its message right? Less fealty to one man?
I have fealty to ideals. I don't have fealty to any one man. And I do believe that we're doing the president a disservice. President Trump, nor any president, could possibly be expected to have a detailed understanding of all the things that they have to deal with. What the president needs to do is start really looking at the outcome of some of these policy decisions and ask himself, is he really getting the best professional advice? That's what I've been trying to provide him for the last few years, and that's what I'm going to continue to provide him. And it's worth what he paid for it. But as somebody who's been in elected office for 20 years at the leadership level in the state house and doing all I can up here, I hope that he starts listening to more of us and fewer of those people who pretend like they're the president when he's out of the room over in the White House.
Who are you talking about?
There will be plenty of time for me to cover that later.
Not later in this interview.
Right.
Look, Thom Tillis, don't act like you're Mr. Principled, Mr. Ethos, Mr. Rock Solid lover of America. This is a big thing that you're asserting. You can't just say, there will be plenty of time for me to cover that later. You just said we have a Woodrow Wilson situation in the White House where people are asserting their authority to act as president of the United States when Donald Trump's not around. This is like Al Haig all over again. You'll remember Al Haig acted as though he was, don't worry, I'm in charge here at the White House when Reagan was shot. When you're not in charge, dipshit, the vice president of the United States was in charge, George H.W. Bush. Anyway, if you remember that, this is similar to that. And Donald Trump wants to act like the big, tough, scary guy that everybody listens to, except that's not what's happening. And this is the natural progression of things when you put these Project 2025 ghouls into power to let them enact their wettest, wildest fantasies upon the United States public. All the way down the chain to Republican senators, admitting it, but not going into enough detail. And not enough pushback either from Jake Tapper. Shocker. Shocker that Jake Tapper is going to give Republicans that much wiggle room. Anyway, what do you think? I invite you to this conversation. We can have it below in the comments. I'm sure we can disagree agreeably. You can leave a comment there. You can also call the voicemail line and leave a fewer than 3-minute voicemail. One single voicemail of fewer than 3 minutes, 714-576-4054. Or you can email me to your heart's content daily@dollemore.com. Please consider supporting this work in independent media that I do on a daily basis. For $2 a month, you can become a channel member by clicking the join button below. Help me produce this content and reach the millions that I do. You could also go over to Patreon, patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast, and help support the work there. Follow me on social media. If you're a social media person, I am at Dollemore just about everywhere. Not active on the Nazi Twitter, but just about everywhere else at Dollemore. And I will see you next time. Until then, be genuine. Take care of one another. All right. Now that we've talked about all of that, I want to talk about something that's genuinely improved my daily comfort. You know how I'm always saying we should follow the evidence? Well, I've been wearing sheath apparel now for well over 2 years, and I have to say the evidence isn't just convincing, it's transformative. Let's face it, I hate buying underwear, and I'm sure you do too. Everybody hates buying underwear. With sheath, you can stop dreading that purchase because you'll have quality, durable apparel that lasts. Once you experience the sheath difference, you'll wonder how you ever wore anything else. What makes sheath different? That's the question. They're the original creators of pouch underwear technology. Now, I'm not going to get overly detailed here. It makes me a little uncomfortable, but it's essentially providing proper anatomical support that traditional underwear simply doesn't offer. Plus, Sheath donates a portion of every single sale to men's mental health initiatives, something I think many of us can appreciate the importance of. And it makes a noticeable difference whether you're sitting at a desk analyzing political developments for hours or just going about your day. And Sheath isn't just for men. They've developed an impressive line for women too, using the same principles of thoughtful design and premium materials. What I particularly appreciate about Sheath is their commitment to quality. These aren't disposable basics. They're using high performance fabrics that last, and their ethical manufacturing practices align with values that many of us in this community share. If you're ready to upgrade your underwear drawer with something that's actually engineered for comfort, head to sheath.com and use code Dollemore for 20% off your first order. My team and I have switched to Sheath, and honestly, it's one of those small changes that makes a surprising difference in your day.